What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua. It could be moved from Saudi Arabia if the terror threat is raised, reveals Eddie Hearn. Okay. On the 14th, of course, we know, if we don't know, 18 drones and 7 cruise missiles hit an oil processing facility in eastern Saudi Arabia, which is 118 miles away from the stadium that was the fight supposed to be on. However, Hearn did ask them, hey, is everything okay? And they said it was. Okay. As far as we are concerned, all systems are go. The area that was hit was long away from the area. I think it's Daria. Okay. So it says the Foreign Office advice for the country is to travel with caution. It's the same category as Mexico. Okay. We got to add that in. So there is really no advice to travel. We can change the venue if something major happens. We had Errol Spence versus Carol Brook in Sheffield in 2017, 4 days after the Manchester bombings, and it looked like we'd have to cancel. So it could happen. My guess, it won't. But let's talk about that. If it does, what if it does move? I mean, where would it go? First of all, they would miss out on a lot of money with the purses change because, of course, Andy Ruiz agreed for more money. And that's contingent on him fighting in Saudi Arabia because the Saudi Arabians had a lot of money that put up for this fight, So that would definitely be an issue. The money, the fight purses, the location, where would it be? Would it be in England? You know what I mean? And I don't know how that would work, really, because you have, I think if I'm Eddie Hearn, I would be concerned with getting a backup plan like he does his fighters. You notice how Eddie, if someone pulls out, he gets someone right there quick to step in, to step up. He's good at doing that. That's one thing as a promoter I've seen he was successful at doing. He was able to replace these fighters. Now, what about a whole venue? Okay. Now, remember, the venue for Anthony Joshua in Madison Square Garden was originally supposed to be a month earlier in Wembley. You guys remember that. So, those venues, I don't know if that could be a problem, but what can you do about a national disaster war? You can't do anything about it. The people that are inflicting, if these same people want to pull up some more drones and start shooting and blasting, well, hey, the safety is the major issue. You know what I mean? The only bombs I want to see is the ones in the ring. I don't want to see them outside the ring putting people in jeopardy. That's a major risk. And I can understand anybody being, really cautious or concerned about that. Now, I will say this. Imagine if this would have happened before Andy Ruiz agreed to sign. This fight would have probably been off, right? Or he would have been sued in legal matters simply because this happened. Then that would have gave another incentive for him. Oh, hell no, I'm not going over there. They're bombing over there now. What the fuck am I going to go over there for? So, you know what I mean? It's a good thing he had already agreed to sign before that happened. You know what I mean? Because that happened actually this month, a couple weeks ago. So, and, of course, they had already, started the press conferences and all that stuff, So, and then later on that happened. So I think the timing was good. So, but again, you can't do anything about those type of disasters or whatnot. So, if it needs to be moved, it needs to be moved. But the fight must go on. That's the bottom line. So regardless of where it happens, you could be concerned with what Andy and his team, because things change. If things change, well, maybe situations change and people's mind changes. Right? So he might decide, hey, you know what? I might not want to go where you guys are trying to replace me to go, for this backup place. But I'm thinking to myself, well, Saudi Arabia, what's worse than that? So he claims, right? Same thing for Mexico. I rest my case. So it is important to know, like, hey, wherever the fight's going to be, as long, let it be a safe venue for both guys to do their best and not worry about that in the back of their minds, So, but no, this is really a kind of like an option, to let people know it could be moved, but more than likely, I don't think it will, unless something else happens. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Eddie Hearn stating it could be moved because of the war. Do you think it's an actual threat? Do you think it's a legitimate threat? You guys tell me. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.